Hey everybody, welcome back to theclinicaltrialsguru.com. Again, that website address for you if you don't already know what it is. It's theclinicaltrialsguru.com. In my humble opinion, the best place in the entire internet, believe it or not, for clinical trial content and information. And of course, that is biased opinion. It is my website. In all seriousness, I get asked lots of questions. I'm getting around to all of them. Keep them coming. I will try to do a video answer. I will keep you anonymous, so don't worry about that. And I'm just doing some catch up. And right now, I'm going to answer one I got today. It's what kind of questions do you ask the person you are interviewing when looking for an experienced study coordinator? So let me just back up and answer this question for experienced coordinators, and then how I would interview an unexperienced coordinator. In fact, I'll start with the unexperienced coordinator first. I do this often, especially in this economic climate. You can get really good staff members, really good people who can hopefully become excellent coordinators when they're fresh out of college. The job market unfortunately sucks. Right now, it's 2013. For those of you watching in the future, I'm hoping the economy has changed, the job market has changed. The good news is research sites are still hiring here and there, and it will remain to be seen how that will progress and will shape in the near future. But for now, the point is, if you're a research clinic, you can find excellent candidates for study coordinators, fresh out of college. I'm talking about people with bachelor's, even master's degree in science-related fields. So when I interview someone who does not have any experience, maybe someone fresh out of college, I ask them what they know about clinical research. So they have to know something about it. If they're coming to the job interview off of an ad, maybe on Craigslist or however they're coming to you, they obviously know they're going to have the interview with you. So they should obviously know that you do clinical research. So they should have taken some time to at least check out what clinical research is. And if they don't know the answer to that question, I might give them like a brief introduction to research, but I really don't think that this person has any interest in research. So unless they're like a really good candidate or they interview really well, that's already a bad sign if they didn't take the time to research what clinical trials are all about. I then ask them what medical therapeutic areas are they interested in, and I find out if that matches up with what kind of trials we're doing. I also ask them what their future career goals are. Do they want to be doctors? Do they want to be a nurse? Do they want to be a nurse practitioner? Maybe a physician's assistant? Whatever it may be, I try to find out what their career goals are so that I can see whether, because clinical research study coordinator is a very difficult position. It's rewarding, but it's very challenging at the beginning. There's a steep learning curve, and a lot of people won't make it through that steep learning curve. And my concern as an employer would be I invest a lot of time and effort into training this new person, this promising person, and then they give up because it doesn't necessarily match up with their career goals. So I try to find out ahead of time before I hire them what their career goals are so that I can hopefully see some kind of synergy and some kind of sign that this person will last throughout the steep learning curve, and then we can reap the rewards of their knowledge together in the form of a raise, in the form of a promotion. I've done it. I do it all the time with my companies. So that's how I would interview someone who's not experienced in research. There's a number of other questions I would ask, but to keep this video short, those are the top three things you should ask. And by the way, for those of you who are planning to be coordinators, this video is priceless for you. Hopefully, you think it's valuable. Now, how would I interview someone who is a coordinator already, maybe at another company, or maybe they have experience as a coordinator? I would ask them what kind of trials they've done. Again, what therapeutic areas. Does it match up with the studies that I'm having? If it does, it's better. If they don't, it doesn't mean they're out of the consideration. And then if they don't have the same therapeutic expertise background that your site conducts trials in, find out if there's a willingness to learn and why. Again, career goal is important. What do they see themselves doing 5 years from now? And if it matches up with the kind of studies you're doing, you probably have a keeper. Then move on to the second question. What have you done outside of study coordinating in a clinical research setting? What experience do you have besides just what's expected of a coordinator? Do you have recruitment experience? Do you have experience helping with contracts and budgets? A lot of study coordinators are doing that. Do you have experience training new staff members? Do you have experience doing any particular rating scales? I know in psychiatric trials, rating scales are huge. You need raters to conduct a lot of your assessments. So ask them what kind of experience outside of the realm of just study coordinating do they have. And then ask them, have them give you an example of one of their biggest challenges that they faced as a study coordinator and how they overcame it or how they dealt with it. And see what they say and really try to get a sense of who this person is, where they see themselves in 5 years. Because with an experienced coordinator, just as with an inexperienced one, it's the same. You don't want them, because regardless of whether they have experience or not, every company's run differently. Every trial is different, and the last thing you want to do is for them to come in, and although their learning curve won't be as steep as someone inexperienced, there's still going to be a learning curve. There's a new company, new systems to learn. There's still going to be somewhat of a learning curve, and the last thing you want to have happen is this person getting halfway through that learning curve, and then they decide they don't like the therapeutic area that you're conducting trials in or whatever else. Then you're just wasting time. So find out what it is, where they see themselves 5 years from now, and try to make that judgment call for who you hire. And my rule of thumb is for inexperienced or experienced coordinators, whoever I'm trying to hire, I want to interview 10 qualified applicants that have already been filtered from emails to hire one. And so actually after the filtering process, you probably will receive 100 resumes or so via email. You want to narrow it down to 10 that you will actually interview in your clinic and then hire one. And in some cases you might make room to hire a second if they are very good. I've done that one time. I'm a small company, but it sounds like you are too. Hopefully this helps. Let me know if you have any more questions. Keep them coming. I want to give a shout out to my Clinical Trials Guru producers, Sarah Elizabeth Siegler, Resolve Research Solutions, Accurate Clinical Trials, Erdhart Clinical Trials, PTNR, Patrick Stone, Darshan Kulkarni, Biopharm Systems, Zymewire, Mozio, South Coast Clinical Trials, Breakthrough Clinical Trials, and St. Paul Medical Research Center in Miami, Florida. Thank you very much. Keep these questions coming, and take care, guys. Bye-bye.